The Perks of Being a Wallflower, page 109. After about three songs, Sam and Patrick came back, completely coated in sweat. Charlie! I stood up, and we all hugged like we hadn't seen each other in months. Considering everything that happened, I guess that makes sense. After we let go, Patrick lay on top of Peter and Mary Elizabeth like they were a sofa. Then he took Mary Elizabeth's drink out of her hand and drank it. Hey, asshole, was her response. I think he was drunk, even though he hasn't been drinking lately. But Patrick does that stuff when he's sober, so it's hard to tell. That's when Sam grabbed my hand. I love this song. She led me to the dance floor and we started dancing. And I started dancing. It was a fast song and I wasn't very good, but she didn't seem to mind. We were just dancing, and that was enough. The song ended and a slow one came on. She looked at me. I looked at her. Then she took my hands and pulled me into a slow dance. I don't know how to slow dance very well either, but I do know how to sway. Her whisper smelled like cranberry juice and vodka. I looked for you today in the parking lot. I hoped mine still smelled like toothpaste. I was looking for you too. Then we were quiet for the rest of the song. She held me a little closer, and I held her a little closer, and we kept dancing. It was the one time all day that I really wanted the clock to stop and just be there for a long time. After the dance club, we went back to Peter's apartment, and I gave everyone their graduation presents. I gave Alice a film book about the Night of the Living Dead, which she liked. I gave Mary Elizabeth a copy of My Life as a Dog on videotape with subtitles in which she loved. Then I gave Sam and Patrick their presents. I even wrapped them up special. I used the Sunday Funny papers because they are in color. Patrick tore through his. Sam didn't rip any paper. She just plucked off the tape. And they each looked at what was inside each box. I gave Patrick On the Road, Naked Lunch, The Stranger, This Side of Paradise, Peter Pan, and a separate piece. I gave Sam To Kill a Mockingbird, The Catcher in the Rye, The Great Gatsby, Hamlet, Walden, and The Fountainhead. Under the book was a card I wrote using the typewriter Sam bought me. The card said that these were my copies of all my favorite books, and I wanted Sam and Patrick to have them because they were my two favorite people in the whole world. When they both looked up from reading, they were quiet. Nobody smiled or cried or did anything. We were just open, looking at each other. They knew I meant the cards that I wrote, and I knew it meant a lot to them. What do the cards say? Mary Elizabeth asked. Do you mind, Charlie? Patrick asked. I shook my head no, and they read each of their cards while I went up to fill up my coffee cup with red wine. When I came back over, they all looked at me and said, I'm going to miss you all very much. I hope you have a great time at college. And then I started crying because suddenly it hit me that they were all leaving. I think Peter thinks I'm a little strange. So Sam stood up and took me into the kitchen, telling me that it was okay. When we got to the kitchen, I was a little more calm. Sam said, You know I'm leaving in a week, Charlie. Yeah, I know. Don't start crying again. Okay. I want you to listen. Okay. I'm really scared to be alone at college. You are? I asked. I never really thought of that before. Just like you're really scared to be alone here, okay? So I'll make you a deal. When things get too much at college, I'll call you. And when things get too much here, you'll call me. Could we write letters back and forth? Of course, she said. Then I started crying again. I really am in a roller coaster sometimes. But Sam was patient. Charlie, I'm going to be back at the end of the summer. But before we think about that, let's just enjoy this last week together. All of us, okay? I nodded and calmed down. We spent the rest of the night drinking and listening to music like we always did. But this time, it was at Peter's, and it was better than Craig's actually, because Peter has a better music collection. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning when it suddenly occurred to me. Oh my God, I said. What's wrong, Charlie? Tomorrow's a school day. I don't think I could have made them laugh any harder. Peter took me into the kitchen and made me coffee so I could sober up and drive home. I had about 8 cups in a row and was ready to drive in 20 minutes. The problem was, by the time I got home, I was so awake from the coffee I couldn't fall asleep. By the time I got to school, I felt like dying. Luckily, all the finals were over and all we did was watch film strips. I don't think I ever slept better. I was glad, too, because the school is really lonely without them. Today was different because I didn't sleep, and I didn't go to see Sam and Patrick last night because they were having a special dinner out with their parents. And my brother was on a date with one of the girls who was looking good at graduation. My sister was busy with her boyfriend, and my mom and dad were still tired from the graduation party. Today, pretty much every teacher just let the kids sit around and talk after we handed in our textbooks. I honestly didn't know anybody except for maybe Susan, but after that time in the hallway, she's avoided me more than ever. So I didn't really talk. The only good class was Bill's because I got to talk to Bill. It was hard saying goodbye to him after class was over, but he said it wasn't goodbye. I could call him any time over the summer if I wanted to talk or borrow books, and that made me feel a little better. This one kid with crooked teeth named Leonard called me a teacher's pet in the hallway after Bill's class. But I didn't mind, because I think he missed the point somewhere. I ate lunch outside on a bench where we all used to smoke. After I ate my ho-ho, I lit up a cigarette, and I was kind of hoping someone would ask me for one, but nobody did. When the class was over, everyone was cheering and making plans with each other for the summer, and everyone was clearing out their lockers by throwing all their old papers and notebooks on the hallway floor. When I got to my locker, I saw this skinny kid who had the locker next to me all year. I never really talked to him before. I cleared my throat and said, "Hey, my name is Charlie." All he said was, "I know." Then he closed the door and walked away. So I just opened my locker, put all my old papers and things in my backpack, and walked over the debris of books and papers and notes in the hallway and to the parking lot outside. Then I got on the bus. Then I wrote you this letter. I'm really glad the school year is over. I want to spend a lot of time with everyone before they leave, especially Sam. I'm really glad that the school year is over. By the way, I ended up getting straight A's this whole year. My mother was very proud and put my report card on the refrigerator. Love always, Charlie.